I need to find out where this video came from. I want to find out what on earth this little baby did this lady.
Never joke, never joke, never joke. Oh, money, never, money, never, money, money, never, money, money. I know what you conniving, money, money, never, money, never, money, money, never, money, money. You can keep your conniving, money. When you've been knocked for a bum, in a bill tell me money. Now because your money done, you come with conniving money. When you had your pocket full, in a bill tell me money. Now because your money done, you hustle for tell me money. Yes, money, neighbor. Money, neighbor, money. Money, neighbor, money. Money, now don't want you conniving money. Neighbor, neighbor, joker. Neighbor, neighbor, joker. Neighbor, neighbor, joker. That's all the money that me walk for. A 2 pound note and a kill that piece. A 2 pound note and a kill that piece.
Especially
a 2 pound note and a kill that piece. This is all the money that me walk for. Money, neighbor, money.
Without the consent of the Ministry of Education, without the involvement of the police that took place at the school, because of the big wigs clashing, right? The male child, this is a private country, 18th day of the 11th month, yes, the 8th. the morning after. Yes, the morning after could be a troublesome morning, you know. A lot of people are left anxious the morning after. Especially if they didn't take the morning after pill. You know, a lot of slips happen along the way, and sometimes you pay for those slips if you don't take the necessary action. Sometimes you're forewarned, but you tell yourself that you're bravado, you can do as you like. You're so confident in your own ability. And then the morning after you wake up, and you're faced with trepidation. Your blood pressure gone up. You're feeling nauseous. You're feeling weak in the knees. Morning after could be a very, very, very frustrating and frightening time. It's the morning after the day we had the protest at Ministry of Finance. Yeah. It's the morning after the fat guy announced the salary increases after the protest concluded. I wonder why. Do you think sometimes we force the hands of these people when we start to take some kinds of action? Who calling me away I want this early morning? Y'all get respect and manners. Y'all ever ask yourself though? Why is it every time we take certain actions, the PPP reacts? You really believe the fat guy was going to announce the salary increases yesterday? I wonder. Or did we force his hand? I still wonder. I wonder a lot of things. I wonder where were all of the Guyanese citizens who believe that people need a better standard of living in this country yesterday. I didn't see them on the protest line, you know. I only see a few. I was happy with the turnout. I was happy with those who turned out. Thank you very much. We close out by saying we will do this again next Thursday. Well, if people didn't see reason to do it yesterday, then I hope they see reason to do it next Thursday. Because I've been telling you all along that you're going to get 8% increase. But like y'all ain't taking me serious. But now that the fat guy has made it known to the world that y'all ain't getting not more than 8%. What y'all gonna do about it? Me's the big bad man, me's the fat guy. Me's the artistic president, what y'all gonna do about it? I don't say 8%. Take it or leave it. That's the position of this government. It has always been the position of this government. We are doing taking it or leaving it. I know a lot of people are hoping that a salary increases will be announced before December month end, before Christmas to be exact, and paid before Christmas. And so yes, it has been announced, and you will be receiving it with your December salary. You happy now? I hope you're happy. I don't work in the public service, you know, but I know that for those of us, those of you who continue to work in the public service, so that kind of wage and salaries and so on, you might be guilty of what my good friend Kenneth Budram had said to me years ago. You might be prostituting your education. I don't prostitute my education. And if you want to sit down there and continue to let government prostitute you by paying you little or nothing for your certification and your qualification and your skills and your experience and the job, and the fact that you keep the wheels of industry in this country turning, is a matter for you. But for me, I would struggle day in, day out. That's my position. I don't know what's yours. And my position is a standing position. Right? Yours might be a lie down position, lie down and taking everything that they give you, anyhow they give you. I'm waiting to hear the union's response to this thing. Right? I am waiting to hear the union's response to this story. Good? I'm encouraging you to start organizing your people. Organize them. If you were out there yesterday, organize, see how many more you can bring along with you Thursday. If you weren't out there, start organizing yourself to be out there Thursday. And see how many more you'll be able to bring. Right? Because again, I'm saying to you, unless you put real numbers in front of the Ministry of Finance and on the streets of this country, to demand better wages and salaries, you ain't got nothing to get. Right? You won't get anything to get. And let me be deliberate in what I'm saying this morning. You see the union leaders and representatives? They ain't got nothing to lose. Right? They ain't got nothing to lose. They're getting duty-free concession to get vehicles to start with. A union leader wants a vehicle, he gets duty-free concessions to buy it. Union leader wants scholarship, he gets scholarship to do masters. So in short, union leaders are riding on the backs of their members to achieve what they want to achieve for upward mobility. But the members are stagnating, or as a matter of fact, retrogressing. They are not advancing, they are not making progress. And the union leaders have no interest really and truly in representing them to make progress. It's about I. That's the answer. I'll say I'm looking for see what the government going to do for I and I. And then with quick reflections, he say, and I man bettering them. Right? Union representatives are supposed to fight to see what the government will do for the members. And they in turn will benefit from that which is done for the members. It's the other way around now. It is I first. I leading with me in mind. I saw the likes of Mark Light and Patrick Yard and whoever else. They can't represent their workers effectively. Not so long ago, I think I mentioned it was alleged that Banks DH bought the car that Norris Peter drives. And he's supposed to be representing workers at that company. How does one stand up to somebody who has been gifting them things? Gifting them things. Look at them square in the eyes and say, this is not in the best interest of my members and I'm going to fight you tooth and nail. The first reaction is, I wonder if I do this, what this man will do. If I do this, I wonder how this man will skin me up. Right? And that is what is happening in this society. I think a whole host of our political leaders and representatives, a whole host of our labor leaders and representatives are compromised. And sometimes it's not a big thing they get compromised, so they get compromised to small things, petty things. Right? Petty things. A $1.5 million off a vehicle, they want duty free. They want to buy a second-hand car from Japan or somewhere, China or somewhere, wherever, US or somewhere. They want a second-hand car and they ain't able to pay the duties of $1.5 million. So they got to beg some minister to get them, or president to get them a duty-free concession. And knowing the PPP, quick time they make it possible and then they hold them, they hold them ransom. Remember, they gave you duty-free, you indebted to me. Sometimes it's a piece of house lot. Sometimes it's not even for themselves, but some family, they gotta beg for piece of house lot. They gotta pay for it, Sometimes they don't pay full price and so. Sometimes they got high income, middle income, and low income price and so. for a relative or themselves. They're indebted to the ministry. You know, me and the man, all right, I can't do it. I can't cuss you out in public. I can't expose the dirty linen. And so they compromised. Now when you're compromised, you can't represent your people effectively. How are you going to do it? You got to keep looking over your shoulder. Right? You got to keep looking over your shoulders. And so you become an ineffective leader. Ineffective leader. And the people whose money is being taken out of the wages and salary every month before they see the paycheck, it's coming to the organization you call a union to support you traveling here and there and going to this conference and that conference and so on. How would I? And you lie down, skin up, taking it. If they say turn over, you turn over. They say go sideways, you go sideways. All kind of gymnastics they get you doing. And they ain't doing nothing for you. But you're accepting that. Where are we going as a society when labor, when organized labor has no teeth, it has no gumption, it has no spine to stand up against a wicked and vindictive government to get its rightful due? Where are we going? What examples are we setting for the next generation? Like I said yesterday, coming out of that Queen's College incident, I see one picture. A black house slave who can't even defend his own child, the seed of his own spine. Versus a coolie bully who is standing up, albeit in the wrong way, for his child. That is what is continuing to happen in this society. Right across this country, it seems as though black leaders ain't got no balls, no gumption, no loyalty, quite frankly. No respect is given to them. And they're happy just going along like things normal. Things are normal. Things ain't normal. And from things in normal, people have to behave in abnormal ways. But when people are about their ego, they can't succeed for themselves and they can't succeed in representing anybody else because they're about ego. I'll tell you all a story. Who vex? Marcelo Oscar thinks I'm defeated. Me? I had one of the biggest success stories yesterday in front of the Ministry of Finance. Like it or not, you best accept it. We went out there to protest. We went out there to draw attention to what we don't like. And better attention was drawn to it. We had an impact on multi-agencies in the society yesterday. The Guyana Fire Service had to react. The ambulance brigade had to react. The police had to react. The finance ministry itself lost productive time. Are you saying failure? Protest is intended to disrupt the norm. How we could have failed yesterday? We had a resounding success. Marcel. Right? You think it's only the numbers that will declare success for us? If 2 men out there had achieved what we achieved yesterday, it would have been a success for us. Keep that in mind. But the reality is, when leaders are concerned more with their ego than the plight of the people will suffer. I usually say some things that people don't like. I share the life. Because when I say them, I like everybody to hear them. Right? When I say certain things, I want everybody to hear them. Because like I say, I ain't got political masters and I don't frighten nobody. I just make my own determination how to proceed. When leading politicians in this country going to concern themselves with who organized the protest action, rather than concern themselves with why the protest action was organized. We are in dark days and we're going to get in darker days and we are going to continue to fail. To remove the wicked and vindictive PPP and stop the wickedness from the party of the PPP. Is who organized the protest. Is Kidaki Amsterdam or is WPA? Oh, is Kidaki Amsterdam? Yeah, longer. Oh, it's WPA? Yeah, stay far from the party. When you got actions like those in your society, as against, oh, there's a just cause to protest, you know. These people really should be paying public servants more money. There's a just cause to protest. Let's see how we can support it. Y'all could go out and support it. Right? The party doesn't have to tell you to go out and support it. Use your own judgment. I think it's worthwhile supporting. The party is not going to spend any resources for you to go and so on, but you can go of your own free will. Right? Those are some of the things I want you to consider. Until leaders could recognize that they lead because of people and not for themselves, the impasse that we're getting from the PPP going to continue. Y'all want it stop? Or y'all leaders are accountable? All y'all leaders are accountable. This is how we're going to stop. I have a statement to share with you. The Guyanese Against Racial Discrimination notes that the PPP anti-black government has once again imposed an unconscionable wages and salaries increase of 8% on public servants. Given the rising cost of living, increased poverty among the citizenry, and a better performing economy, we urge public servants and all fair-minded Guyanese to immediately reject this insult and begin the struggle for wages and salaries increases that will lift the working class from the gutters of poverty. We also urge this government to heed the advice of Professor Clive Thomas to give direct cash transfers of approximately $5,000 per household to cushion the effects of rising costs of living and economic deprivation among Guyanese. According to the World Bank, 48% of Guyanese are living below the poverty line of 1,100 Guyana dollars per day. Meanwhile, the rate of inflation stands at 7.6%. It must be also noted that while the AP and UFC coalition held the seat of government, it made serious efforts to improve the lot of the working class. Without the use of oil money, public servants' wages were increased by more than 50%, with the lowest being 8%. Employees all received tax-free back pay. They also benefited from $50,000 cash bonuses in 2015, 2016, and 2018. On November 13, 2019, President David Granger announced a 9% increase in wages and salaries for public servants earning less than $100,000 per month. This included those earning a minimum wage of $64,220. The new salary structure represented a 77% increase in the minimum wage since 2015, which at that time was $39,540. Of particular note is the fact that in 2019, inflation was approximately 3% and food prices were much lower. When the 2019 increase was made, it was tax-free, and 3 pounds of cassava was $100. Today, there are billions of dollars in oil money, higher inflation, and cassava is $200 per pound. The PPP has returned to the days of taxing retroactive pay and giving bonus to the disciplined services only, in its usual divide and rule approach to the distribution of the country's resources. 8% is an insult to public servants, and when compared to payouts to the likes of Gaisuko, rice farmers, fisher folks, and many in its support base, exposes the PPP government for what it is: racist and discriminatory. End. That's a statement from Guyanese Against Racial Discrimination. And that is exactly what it is. That salary increase should be seen as nothing else about an insult to public servants. Should be seen as nothing else but apartheid, economic apartheid and economic genocide, for the fact that the majority African Guyanese work in the public service. And when you compare that 8% that is given to the public service to the amounts being doled out to sectors that are predominantly Indo-Guyanese, it can't be anything except divide and rule. It can't be anything except apartheid. It cannot be anything except racism and discrimination. I don't see it as anything except that. And for those of you who are saying the coalition should have done better, the coalition did do better. Within 5 years of being in office, free effectively, I will always say that, public servants saw a 77% increase overall in their wages and salaries. And guess what? At that time, there was no access to oil money. There was no access to oil money. And one would therefore naturally understand and expect that with oil money flowing in this economy, people will see better increases in wages and salaries. What did you get? 8%. What the citizens got? 8%. And while the coalition didn't have access to oil money and was giving salary increases and tax-free back pay, this government has access to billions of dollars and is giving below par wages and salaries increases, and to boot, they're taxing it. They are taxing it. Can you imagine you live in a society where your inflation rate is 7.6% and the government gives you an 8% increase? There's a marginal difference over your increase to the inflation rate of 0.4%. Can you imagine that? Especially given the fact that the inflation rate continues to rise. Especially given the fact that prices in the markets are killing people. Where's the conscience of the state? Where's the conscience of the Ministry of Finance? Where's the conscience of the government? Poor people got to be fed up. But you can't fed up and roll over and give up. You have to get fed up, get up and fight for what you want. And I'm saying to you, stop depending on lame-ass leaders who, quite frankly, their beds are well feathered. And they will not fight for you. But they will show up when it is time for you to fight for them. They will show up when it comes to the electoral vote. They will show up. That is when they will show up. By that time, you would have been living in poverty already. And so they can come and make you promises. We will give you 50%. We will give you 60%. Vote for us. We're going to change the sky from blue. But when they're in the office, you see their true colors. There's a video circulated in left, right, and center here from Ali screaming at the top of his voice, we're going to give public servants 50%. And what about the nurses and the teachers? They deserve better. Like it or not, if Ali sits in the seat of the president, installed or not, has he lost his memory? Public servants were called out. Teachers especially were called out to strike against the David Granger government over issues of salaries. Where are those teachers now? Have their leaders become comatose? Or they have a considered opinion that this PPP is doing better than the coalition did for public servants and teachers? I don't know about you, but I think the time to fight is now. All now is the time to fight. Don't let the ink dry on that declaration. Start fighting. Disrupt the economy. It's the perfect time to disrupt the economy. It is when your friends and cronies expect to make a killing off of you, because you get back pay, you're going to buy curtains, etc. This is the perfect time to disrupt the economy. And I'm saying disrupt the economy. Don't spend your money, hold on for your money, don't spend it. Protest morning, noon and night. In whatever form you think you want to protest morning, noon and night. Me, I'll be in front of the Ministry of Finance next Thursday again. I did say after yesterday's protest, I will take a rest. I need a rest. I can't rest when injustice stalks the land. How can I? (6225933) is the number to call. Y'all call and let's talk about this thing. How I feel about it. What y'all gonna do about it? Somebody sent me an article with Devendra Singh. I tell you, all this man running loose while this man running loose long now. I didn't even know that. But I told you from President looking at his behavior with Selwyn Peters and the sentencing pattern that Selwyn Peters highlighted, this man is a downright racist. This man got a problem with African Guyanese. I wonder what they did to him. I wonder what advantage they have over him. I wonder what he's trying to right, which wrong he's trying to right, or which perceived wrong he's trying to right. Or is he on a quest for equality? I don't know. But I saw an article yesterday. I have it somewhere there too. Of him being accused of having an altercation with a driver on Sheriff Street. according to the article, it appeared as though he was intoxicated. Almost created an accident. And then turn around because the driver and call him a black dog. How can you have a judge on a bench calling people black dog? How do you expect him to respect people and sentence them according to their infractions and not according to his biases against them? Black people are dogs in his eyes. What is Devendra Singh doing, or Ravinder, whatever Singh he is doing on the bench? I also read in that same article where it is alleged that Savitri Sharma, if that's her correct name, Sharma's wife, had an altercation with him, where she had to slap him and damage his spectacles. How can you have such a judge running around the place, always in an altercation with somebody, calling people out of their proper description, threatening teachers, and sitting on the bench? Something is wrong in this society, and it can only continue to happen because citizens again are rolling over and taking it anyhow. No consideration for the comforts. Call it live. Good morning.
Good morning, Kadaki, and good morning, good listeners. Two things I have to talk about. The first one has to do with the current individual you just mentioned, the Judge Singh. This is someone who has been creating havoc in the judiciary. I am giving you this because I have had conversation with current judges and past judges. This is a nutcracker they have in the form of Justice Singh. He has such a poor relationship among the judges with whom he works that no one wants to be too much in his company, save and except that it's normal for judges to appear to be working in unison. This is somebody who walks around with a 9mm on his person, and it is just a matter of time before he blows out one of the black Guyanese head over some silly situation. I can't understand how this guy became a judge. He is as racist as the word suggests. He has no love for black people. Everything he does against them is to the extreme. He's an outlier where his decisions are concerned. And we have a problem. I'm hoping that the administration is seeing what this crackpot is doing on the bench. He's nothing else but a crackpot. And he does it because he has the blessings of Jack Dio and company. Whatever he does, he knows nothing is going to come out of it. And when we would have thought it was only a few things he may have done, this guy has a long rap sheet of indiscriminate behavior that it boggles people's mind to understand how this guy is still sitting on the bench. Had he been in Trinidad, I can tell you with 100% certainty, he would have been disbarred. He would be thrown out of the bench. Trinidad don't play with the lawyers, and worst of all, they don't play with the judges. He would have been a goner. But here it is, Guyana. With all the crap that the current administration does, he fits the profile that they like. Because whenever matters go before him that concerns the government, they can close their eyes and know that he is going to rule in their favor, as we expect with that current case which Peters et al. Is now fighting. This is somebody who has made the judiciary gone below sea level. They are in the dungeon. This guy has nothing in the line of qualities for a judge. And I cannot understand why this administration is backing somebody like that. We understand quite clearly he's a surrogate of Freedom House, and he is the rogue. He's one of the rogue PPP. Just as they have many in the administration, he is the ultra rogue for the judiciary. And I can tell you again, judges are not talking good things about him. It's shameful that he has to be among them, but they despise his behind as much as they despise bad things elsewhere. So it's just a matter of time, as I said before, he has road rage among other things. And I know when things go contrary to expectation, when he's in his rage, he's going to make use of the 9mm which he has on him all times, 24/7. On the part with the 8%, as usual, it's a slap in the face of black people. Because we know 99% of the people who will suffer as a result of the 8% are blacks. The Indians who are among them, they already have it made. They already have it made. So it is just a game, 8%. What could 8% do? If you add 8% to the existing salary of these people, it's like throwing a drip in the ocean. And by the time they walk from one end of Border Market to the Forest Gate, that 8% dwindles, it's gone. Zero, nada. So I don't understand why are people trying to make this administration what it is not. These people don't care about black people. It's an apartheid state. It's an apartheid state. An apartheid state breeds that kind of decision and breeds things that are consistent with what their actions are. Kadaki, I am at a stage now where I think they need to stop the talking and get busy doing what is necessary to make this country drop rather than pushing it to go for the heights. Things are not going good for the majority of the people, so they need to put their hands together and keep the economy on the downtrodden state where it really is. Because the big fancy buildings that are going up there, people can't eat those things. The people who are keeping that country going are those who sit in the public service seats. Something's got to be done. This thing can't work. 8% is such an embarrassment, it's not funny anymore. Anyway, guys, you have a wonderful day and God bless you.
Thank you for your call. Well, Simpson, I'm happy you recognize me as a hypocrite. Your parents coming clean. At least your parents coming clean. 6225933 is the number to call. It's 50 minutes past the 8 o'clock hour. Call, let's talk the thing. 8%. Is that all you want? I see a certain man poking fun at me.
With that 8% increase to public service, the containers, the start. Kadaki, good morning. With that 8% increase to public service, the containers, they start rolling out for Christmas already. It's the down regional street you're seeing them. The things in them in the containers should left for dry rot. That is what the African Guyanese should do with them.
Call it live, good morning.
Yes, good lucky. Once more I'm here.
Call it, you need to speak up.
Yes, I'm here. Again once more. It bleeds my heart every morning when I look at this program to see that the atrocity that we Guyanese are going through. And coming direct to the incident with this judge. He used a typical house slave. That is what we talk about, the house slave. He pulled that guy in the gutter because he's a gutter rat. He can't see no farther than his nose. And every time these PPP thugs try to make a mess of something, they pull an African within them. And something that amazed me, there is nobody, you're not seeing Indians coming out and speak about this thing that went on. Everybody's silent. And it is a real sad situation down there. But we have to get up and fight these people. We ain't supposed to sit and take this nonsense that's going on. Enough of them in the IR face is square peg in wrong holes. They don't know what they're doing. And they gotta bring our country flat, just like how they custom to live. That is my contribution. And you keep up your good works.
Thank you. The lines remain open. 6225933 is the number to call. Call A Live, good morning. Call A Live, good morning.
Bless good morning to Mr. Kadaki, all the viewers and listeners. It is TWILIGHT Friday, so I want to say something a little bit, make a few comments. First of all, I want to talk about organization. I think that is what is lacking in Guyana, right? And I'm gonna do some comparison, and it's gonna be from the US to Guyana. I mean, you may say it's not fair to compare the US to Guyana, but I'm comparing the system, the US system compared to Guyana and also other developing countries around the world. Organization is important. Let's look at economics. There are five companies in the US. The equity, meaning that the monies that have exposed to them, is equivalent to the GDP of the United States. And that is in the trillions. 5 Wall Street companies, right? And let's compare that to Guyana. In Guyana, I'm sure there are 5 to 10 businesses, including Mohammed's Enterprise and other businesses and drug dealers, whose equity, the money that they have in their disposal, is equivalent to the GDP of Guyana, right? And they have all sorts of political power. But those five companies in the US on Wall Street that has all that equity, they don't have that kind of power. They don't have that kind of political power. Maybe they have influence, a little bit of influence, yes, because they pay lobbyists in Washington to lobby for their cause and so on. So organization is important. This is the argument. Organization is very important. And because of this here now, we find in Guyana and other developing countries, people who get so rich, right? They not only control what they have, what they own, the control goes on in the country, and that's a problem that we have in Guyana, right? And that system that's a system we need to work on. That's a system we will remain poor, and we will always remain. We will not achieve our true potential, because look at this. In Guyana, like for instance, this president we had, as installed he is, right? He's in such a great position right about now. Never ever in history, right? No president has had the money at their disposal to them as he has right about now, right? The opportunity that he has right about now. And not even the United States, right? Because if you compare the money that Guyana has at his disposal right about now, compared to the population, right? You would realize that he's in such a great position right about now compared to other countries around the world, and he's swallowing it. He's not doing anything with it. He's just being selfish, and that's a problem. I mean, you could talk as much as you want to about Americans, but one thing you can't doubt is their patriotism. You know, once you have patriotism, right, everything else follows. Because you start being selfish, you start being an altruist, and we do not have altruists in Guyana, right? And that's the reason why we will remain the way we are, We have a golden opportunity. We really do have a golden opportunity. Yes, we have a constitution to abide to guide us, right? But we are ignoring the constitution. And yes, the constitution is old. It was created for years ago, and it was patterned off of the Westminster system, right? So a lot of things that they were back then is not today. So we can't go according to that, right? We understand, but that could be amended. But the core of the Constitution is law and order, free, equal rights to everyone. Once we respect those things, and even we do some amendments to the Constitution, right? Once we respect the core of the Constitution, we will progress. We will progress. And this, like I said, this installed government, as installed as they are, right? They have a golden opportunity to do so. All we need is organization. All we need is people, rich people, not having richer and influential people like that judge, not abusing the privilege that they have. They just have to respect the organization. That is important. We have to put the organization in place and respect that organization and stop being selfish. That's the problem. We are being selfish, and if we continue being selfish, we will end up labeled as the Dutch disease, like every other country that has oil and has all these resources at the disposal, and we shouldn't. I boast about before we drill the oil into 2020. I boast about our country, and people when talk about our country in the United States, to other people they turn the face to me like, you heard about the Dutch disease. I said no, there's a possibility that wouldn't happen to us because we have less than 1 million people, right? And that's the advantage that we have. If Ali could give us more than 8% salary raise, it's less than 1 million people that we have, right? There's so much money to our disposal. There's so much money to his disposal. Why is he being selfish? Why is he discriminating against other people and so on, right? When he has this opportunity just to be fair and just to write the country the way, the correct way, the way to make sure everybody inherit, everybody get from this country, because there is enough for everybody. There's enough for everyone. Less than 1 million people, billions of dollars. There is enough for everybody. Why are they still being? Why are they being greedy? Why are they being selfish? Right? Why are they discriminating against others? You don't have to like somebody, right? And you can still give them what belongs to them. You know why? Because it's at your disposal, and it wouldn't cause you a thing just to give to them because it's theirs. Right, so I don't. So that's my comment to me. Organization. We need organization. We need organization. And stop acting like this, like it's a banana republic. Because banana republic. That's how banana republic works, right? People, individuals, gain everything. Individuals run everything. Individuals have all the political power. But if we turn it around and not have individuals, but have organizations, right? Create organizations. And those organizations, you put selfless individuals on those boards, right? To head those organizations, we will see better in our country. But unless we do that, unless we turn our backs away from the selfishness and the banana republic style, we would do better. No matter how much we have. And finally, what that judge did recently. It's a starting. I've traveled the world, and I've seen it happen in lots of other countries. Right? That's how it starts. You don't want to start a tribal war, right? Because if you could go to a child's school, you are the senior officer of the law, or you could go to your child's school and display something like that. What do you tell these other kids, right? You see what happened? The children, his cousin, whoever, decided to pick up another party of his own and went to the other person's class and decided to display whatever he wanted to display. That is what it creates. It's a cancer, and we don't want this in this country because it happened. It happened in Rwanda, right? It happened in other countries, and they know, and the outside world, the international world, they saw it happen, they saw it coming up. But you know what? They turned it back because it didn't serve their interest. So if we don't be careful, That is exact, and in this case, it's not going to be tribal, right? Because everyone don't look alike here. It's going to be worse. It's going to be racial. And believe me, the enablers and the people who are enjoying the fat right about now, they wouldn't want to see their own family's blood and their blood running in the streets. And that's exactly what is going to happen if we don't watch ourselves with this thing. Because what that judge did, it's wrong. What that judge did is wrong. There's no child of not in the multilateral school, not in lower schools in Guyana, could have gone to no child school and display what he did. Because first of all, they would have been arrested, and they wouldn't hear the end of it till now. So we have to stop this. We have to stop because we're bringing our kids into it, our future generation into it now. And when the killing started, it wouldn't stop because they can continue it. And that's exactly what it seems going to happen if we don't put ourselves together in Guyana. We have an opportunity to put ourselves. You have an opportunity, installed as you are. You have an opportunity to do the correct thing, to do the right thing for your country. Be a patriot. Be a patriot. Forget about what Jack Dio and other people is telling you. Do the right thing, bro. Do the right thing. You are a Muslim, right? So I could call you a brother because you're a Muslim and I'm black. So I could call you a brother. So do the right thing. Do the right thing, bro. You're not doing the right thing. Don't stand aside and watch things go downstream for us. You have all the money in the world to do it. Do the right thing. Thank you. That's my time.
Thank you, caller. Let's see about some voice notes. Yeah, Marcel Erskine, thank you, man. You're concerned about my well-being? I thought you want to see me out the face of the earth. Voice note. Call it live. Good morning.
Morning, Kadaki, and morning, Guyana. We always end up with asking why. We know the answer. Why? Kadaki, I must commend you on the protest. And where are the ministers, MPs that should be out there? Where are all the others who are affected? Why they're not out there? So it leaves me, and I'm sure a lot of people, to think that they really don't give a hoot, they really don't care, and they've given up. I urge you to continue the fight. I'll support as much as I can. But when we have a society like Guyana, where the previous caller talked about organization, even when you have organization in Guyana, but they do not come out at all. So the answer is you've got to break stuff up. If we keep on this same pity-patter line that we are taking each day to confront the racist PPP party, we already are being demoralized and we don't even know it. Here is it that you have Singh, who happened to be a judge, bring Caesar. What does that tell us? In a society, who run things? It shows who run things in Guyana from the time you land at the airport. So folks may come back to Guyana and think, oh yes, it's this and that, it is nice, but they're not looking or understanding what's actually happening. The country have already been taken over by Kuli. Already. But we don't see it, right? We would like to come and have a good time in Guyana. But we're not simply understanding as we look at who's got what and who don't have any. And they have not any and not doing anything because I guess they're comfortable with that what little they've been given. Stop begging a fraud and government to give you, stuff. It's yours, demand it and take it. Because if you don't, you're already at the bottom of the barrel. And I urge my fellow Africans to understand what's happening and stop shopping. Christmas, as this is coming up, as you said, they want money for blinds and all of that. Come on, you think they're going to adhere to those stop shopping? I doubt whether, because the mindset is simply to always forget about collective, be collective in doing things, and they're more about individual. That's why you don't see hundreds, thousands of people out there protesting what the government is doling out. So, I think, there's times I'm like, I give up because I do not see the fight. I do not see the fight in the people. And they're laying down to be kicked up their ass more and more each day and have nothing to say. How the hell does Singh relative go into the school and we have no response from any of our African brothers and sisters? Come on. It just shows who run things. And I'm just friggin' fed up and I'm done. That's my take.
Thank you, caller. Yeah, I was saying. Yeah, Marcel Askin, you have your concern about my well-being. I'm okay. Don't worry the energy level. The intellect, the right day. Don't worry the energy level. The intellect, day. And if you bring... yeah. If I get... Go on to your life. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Kadaki.
Good morning to you.
I am calling to make a comment. I am a retired teacher. I have worked for 25 years in Guyana, but I left because of the situation that's still being faced in Guyana. Everybody wants to have a better way of life. And I had to come out of Guyana to work in another country as a teacher to see the appalling conditions that teachers in Guyana worked under. And it seems as though it's the same situation. I've been listening to Miss McDonald. She has been talking, and to me the talk is just words. The union has to represent its members. We don't want to hear what the teachers are doing. You have to lead the teachers. You have to put some action. I have come out of Guyana to see the union working for teachers. And teachers in Guyana are paying union dues. They're not getting any representation. So the teachers union needs to wake up. That's my comment. Have a good day.
Thank you, caller. I want to pay attention to another thing. One, the fat guy says that he's going to make additional comments or declarations or pronouncements or announcements next week. But he has hinted to what those are. One-off payment for teachers and one-off payment for joint service members. How does that change a lot of the working class? How does it? 8% is 8%. And the PPP, I was about to say is lazy. But they're not lazy, they're deliberate. 8% across the board. Because 8% across the board means that the working class, the ordinary working class, the poor man gets zilch. And the PPP and the big wigs get the hug of it. The higher your income, the more you take home from this 8% across the board. The Granger administration, this, whoever Nola Sims is asking what the Granger government did, why they didn't do something with our money. The Granger government was never allowed to spend our money. They never had access to our money. They were thrown out of power before our money started coming, much less spending. I said, you don't even understand that. I really don't know what you're here doing, saying that you're defending the PPP. Right? The Granger administration over a period of 5 years, 3 effective, was able to increase public servants' salaries 77%. And you're asking what the Granger government did? The Granger government wanted to balance the playing field. Hold the line, caller. And so when they were giving salary increases, they did not ever give across the board increases. There was a range of increases. The lowest was 8%. And that 8% naturally was paid to the big wigs. The people who are lower on the salary scale got bigger increases than 8%. But here is this corrupt and criminal and lazy and vindictive and racist and apartheid government. Let me give everybody 8%. So ministers can go with the hog of it. The fat guy can go with millions. The bald one can go with millions. And public servants, if you look at the public servants increase over a period of 12 months, comes up to about $72,000, which will be taxed. And so effectively they're going to go home with about $50,000 for a whole year. There's the back pay for a whole year. With 6 months, $6,000 more on their salary. And people like Marcel Erskine and Nola Simpson, where you have conscience, the man? Huh? You only got humanity? Go ahead, life.
Good morning, Kadaki. Good morning. I'm a little disgruntled this morning with you. I disgruntled with the situation, and I call for emphasize on the last caller, the woman that called, the teacher that called from overseas. She's right. I'm behind what she said 100%. Why disgruntled with you about? Yesterday morning, you had this woman, McDonald, Coretta McDonald, whosoever she is, on your program. Yeah? She come with a set of hot hair. Blah, 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 blah. A set of hot hair. You ask her, you invite her out to the protest yesterday. Did she show up? Did she show up? No. Don't got these people on your program, brother. Don't got these people coming on your program running them out and give you a set of hat here.
They are your leaders.
Because if you get,
they are MPs. They are union leaders. You don't want to hear from them? You don't want to hear from your MPs and union leaders? And civil society, you don't want to hear from them? That's what you're saying?
No, I don't want to hear from them because it's a set of hot here. Talk and no action, brother.
All right.
Talk and no action.
All right.
It's wasting time. Wasting quality time. She come on your ear. It's not like she came on your ear 2 days ago and she forget. Yesterday morning she was there. Yesterday morning. Couple hours before your protest started. I'm angry. I'm angry and I'm disappointed, man. We don't need this. We don't need this. Don't give these people no airtime, sir. Please. Just how they got needs, you got needs too. And wash and make can't come clean. You can't support me, I can't support you. All right, thank you very much and have a good day, bro.
Thank you for your call. You know, these people who come in on this program and talking about who's spewing out here, they're just like the president. If pressure come at me, I can run. I've been facing my pressure. The police locked me up. I have $20,000 bail from the court. Y'all notice I continue to protest every time? I'm telling y'all again, lock up, don't bother me. Y'all ain't gonna break my spirit. Call it live. Good morning. Morning, neighbor. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Share the damn life. We are waiting. Danny the lead in the cheat. When the KSC chase a chipper, the chiller boys did it to Sana. Hey, when Stellar we were going, buddy. Johnny Salin, Berlin Ward, Soldier Sergeant, welcome down from military. Barbara Barrington, Diane Michelle. Courtney October, good morning. Sandra, goody, good luck, simple. Run the lane. Winston Kilkenny. Oil you need about by Mark Julian. Desiree Emmanuel. Now welcome to another program of BUXTONIAN Morning Time. Welcome to another program of BUXTONIAN Morning Time. I hope you had a good weekend. And you were able to do an assessment as to how you're going to spend that 8%. I'll try to get your copy sometime in the course of the day, Candy. Sorry. I got so much on my plate, you know. I don't have an office like the leader of the opposition. It's me alone. I don't have assistants. It's me alone. I ain't getting no research grant. It's me alone. So y'all must forgive me when I forget these things. Or when you expect me to do something and it's not done. Just hit me up and say, hey, buddy, Mr. Amsterdam, you were supposed to scratch your head. You didn't do it. I'm reminding you that you got to do it, right? Good. All of you can be my assistants. All of you can be my personal assistants and my organizers and everything, because together we will do it. Together we can do it. Together we must do it. Right? It's not on me alone. Y'all start this thing. I ain't Atlas. I alone can't hold up the world. Anyways, I say I hope you had a good weekend. I hope you spent some time reflecting on what this 8% award really meant for you, especially if you're a public servant. Even if you're in the private sector, you need to pay attention to that too, right? Because the reality is, hi Michelle, what's up, girlfriend? The reality is, the availability of income or the lack thereof doesn't only affect one group of people, you know. The more money public servants have, the more money can be spent. The more money that can be spent, the more profits can be made. The more profits that can be made, the more jobs can be created. Or let me go to tell you, the more investments can be entered into. And with more investments, you can get more job creation. So this thing is not only about public servants not getting enough money. You see, life is everything is interconnected, right? It's a cycle. When the ordinary man gets money, he spends it. He spends it. Keeps the wheels of industry and commerce grinding. So when the ordinary man is not getting money and he can't spend money, businesses suffer. They bawl out, they cry out things tight. In some instances, they're forced to retrench, lay off. In many instances, they pay starvation wages. And so when governments are mean, to the extent of not paying public servants properly, livable wages, it means that they are having a direct impact on the growth of the society, growth of the economy. But I guess a lot of people don't see that. Because a few bigwigs around the PPP with PPP connections, they get tax exemptions far outweighing what the tax agency collects. Right? And those bigwigs, that small group, that clique, tries to convince the nation that everything is well. We're doing well as an economy. We're doing well as a nation. We're doing well as a country. But they will say they're doing well because they're only interested in their growth and development. When they get tax exemptions, they can take those exemptions or the money saved from those exemptions and they can go to Europe and North America. The new destination is Dubai or UK. And they can have, in this instance, a wonderful Christmas with their friends and families. Or they can go shopping in those destinations. And so their friends and families can have a wonderful Christmas and Thanksgiving and Halloween and all of the things that we import from the north. Well, the ordinary man is catching hell to survive. So who really is going to fight for the ordinary man? That's the question. Have you ever, as a schoolboy, you ever play King for the Land? King for the Land is usually played over water. In Buxton, we have some bridges. I would call them kissing bridges. They were built similarly to the kissing bridges. Flyovers over the Company Canal, especially the Company Trench. And as youngsters, you go on that bridge and you play King for the Land. Every man for himself. King for the Land. Who will be the last man standing on that bridge? King for the Land. So everybody comes on the bridge, you hope to push them overboard. And remain the last man standing on that bridge. Of course, is King for the Land. That is what we have in this society. The rich and powerful fight for the rich and powerful. The poor people fight for the rich and powerful, quite frankly. Because a lot of us poor and downtrodden are fighting for the rich and powerful. A lot of the poor and downtrodden are security guards and bodyguards and all kinds of guards, touts and pimps and spies for the rich and powerful. So who's fighting for the smaller man? Smaller man has to fight for himself. He has to understand that. King for the Land, he has to fight for himself. Poor people, they forgot to band themselves together and fight. Poor people in Guyana have to band themselves and fight. It's not an ethnic fight. You have an ethnic government, but it can't be an ethnic fight. It has to be a national fight. But it will only be a national fight when people recognize that, hey, if we stay in our ethnic enclaves and fight one another about who are black and who are Kuli, what we're doing is leaving the corrupt PPP administration to walk away with our wealth. That's what we're doing. And I always say that this struggle is a Guyanese struggle. It can be an ethnic struggle, it's a Guyanese struggle. Many people make it ethnic because we are forced to point out that is an Indian-dominated government that is mistreating the people of Guyana. And from the time you say the Indian-dominated government, everybody watching and they say you're racist. Every time you point out that the majority blacks in this country, the majority Afro-Guyanese in this country, are the ones being marginalized, they say, you're talking race. But if you're fair-minded, then you would recognize what is being said as truthful. So here we are again, talking about this 8%. Who will fight for the public servants for a better day? Public servants got to fight for themselves. Because the friends and cronies of this corrupt administration will not fight for them. They will not utter one single word. Right? They will not utter a single word because they hope to remain warm. They hope to continue having the warm soup of the PPP's table. Good? Public servants have to fight for themselves. They can't even rely on the union leaders. Because many of the union leaders are actually friends and cronies, families and favorite of the PPP. Right? Many of them. Where are the Patrick Yards? I don't hear of Patrick. Where's Patrick? How old is Patrick now by? Patrick should be kicking what? 80? Or 80 plus? Or close to those ages. Where's Patrick? I'm not hearing Patrick. Does Patrick Yard have the energy to lead the Guyana Public Service Union? Does he have the energy? Is he exhibiting that energy? Is he exhibiting the willingness to lead the Guyana Public Service Union to a place where it ought to be by now? On the streets. On the streets. I'm not hearing anything of Patrick Yard. And since the union executive has to be a team, where are the other members of the Patrick Yard team? I'm trying to remember some names. It was this man, whatever his name was. Anyhow, the fact I can't remember the name suggests to me how vigilant and visible they are. And so when public servants recognize that the union is not representing or representative of them, they have to become representatives of themselves and represent themselves. Public servants have to take to the streets. Whether you want to use WhatsApp to organize, whether you want to use social media to organize, whether you want to use the old ancient way of smoke to organize, public servants must organize and take to the streets. Otherwise, they got to live with that 8%. I published an article that says that 8% is equal to less than $150 a day. I think it's $143 a day. Can you give your child $143 a day to go to school? Let's say for snack. You'd watch it and ask if you had good. They can't buy nothing. Can you pay transportation to and from work with $143 a day? I doubt it. What can you do to improve your life with $143 a day? And while you're getting $143 a day, other people in the society are getting thousands of dollars per day. How is it? GAU, which represents workers in a failing sugar industry, can get between 9 and 15% for their members. But GPSU, first and foremost, can't get to the bargaining table. GAU can get to the bargaining table and bargain and negotiate and fight and whatever and get between 9 and 15% for their members, workers in the sugar industry. But GPSU, Patrick Yard and crew, cannot even get to the bargaining table, but have foisted upon them 8%. Which from all indications, even if they don't find it acceptable, they seem to be willing to accept it. Huh? How in events is that acceptable? Are you saying GAU is the most effective union in this country? Or is it because the workers that GAU represents are willing to strike and protest with or without the leadership of GAU, number one. And number two, the leadership of GAU is in bed as members of the PPP. And so when the PPP awards GAU between 9 and 15% for its workers in the sugar industry, it is simply awarding, or it is simply laying a path of ease for its members who are representative of the leadership of that union. But on the flip side, Patrick Yard black. Never mind he's in bed with them, he black. He's representing a majority black people. And so they don't deserve 9%. They don't deserve between 9 and 15%. They deserve 8%. Which after tax comes down to less than $150 a day. Which after tax is less than the rate of inflation. But people are sitting and accepting that. If it's not docility, I don't know what other name to call it by. If we're not a docile people, I do not know what other name to call it by. The General Workers Union started a strike, well, not a strike, a protest. Or they continue to protest in front of the office of the president. They just upgraded it according to my understanding to twice weekly. And among the things they're saying is, we are going to protest because this government shows no respect for collective bargaining. This government shows no respect for the rights of workers. And this government is disrespectful to award us 8%, which is 0.4% over the inflation rate. And when tax is below the inflation rate. Where are the other unions? Where is the Guyana Teachers Union, Mark Light and Coretta McDonald? Where are they? Where are the other unionists? Where are the other workers' representatives? What are we waiting for? Are there any protests planned for in front of the office of the president, let's say today? I didn't hear of any. The General Workers Union will be out there on Tuesdays from 12 to 1:30, no, from 11:30 to 12:30, I think. And on Thursdays from 11 to 12:30 also. So they're protesting twice weekly. Where are the other unions? Are the other unions going to join with them? Will the other unions stage their own pickets outside of other ministries? I await this information. But I say to workers, don't wait on your unions. Organize, self-organize, and protest. Start a protest or join a protest. On Thursday, I'm going to be again in front of the Ministry of Finance. Many people will ask, why not join the General Workers Union? Because I believe we should protest all across this country in different groups, so we can stretch the resources of the police to start with. And also that we can be at different points of the country where people are seeing that all is not right. People are out there protesting for a better day. So like I said to those who were out there with me last Thursday, turn up Thursday again, but turn up with somebody else. Bring somebody along. Bring a friend. Tell a friend, bring a friend. Because we have to get better than 8% in this country. We have to get a serious consideration of paying $5,000 per household. Every household deserves the $5,000. Let them decide what they will do with it. Because you only have to live in a house to know where it leaks. You can't tell from outside. And so every household knows what will be their priorities. Government can't determine that for them. But like I keep explaining, $5,000 per household, given the population in this country, is joke money. It will not even put a dent on the natural resource funds. And so there's a whole lot more money left there to develop the social and other sectors of this society. But we are not going to get it. We will not get it unless we're prepared to challenge the status quo, unless we're prepared to fight for it. And that's what I'm encouraging you to do. Let's fight. Let's fight. That's my message to you this morning. Let's fight for what we rightly deserve. Don't sit back and think the oppressors bring in anything and give you. Anything you get is what you fought tooth and nail for. So you best start fighting. The lines are open. 6225933 is the number to call. I want you all to call and tell me how you feel about this 8% and how we're going forward. Let's do that. 6225933 is the number to call. Let's call and talk the thing. They say the fat guy gonna make more announcements with relation to wages and salaries in this week. I don't know what more announcements will be made, but I won't be surprised that they ain't gonna make much sense. I can tell you that. That's my position. I'm waiting. Let me see if there's any voice note. I don't get any.
Hi, good night to shows. This is...
There's a voice note circulating of Tusho talking about seeing, or residents in the theater talking about seeing hundreds of planes flying around. Y'all won't be surprised, or y'all might be surprised. The first thing that came to mind, the Venezuelans coming to take over. Let the damn take over and done, man, because we're making sense. Oh, Lord. 6225933 is the number to call. Call and let's talk the thing. I had a missed call just now. Why? Yes, I await your calls. Call, let's talk. I'm being told that there's a protest planned for outside of every GCOM office today from 10. So from 10 today, there's going to be a protest outside of every GCOM office. I assume that will include the one in front of High Street, so y'all could go down there. Right? Y'all could go down there. Was it Paris says some PPP supporter in the private sector told him that he has too much sense? And they want people who don't have sense? I hope I interpreted that right. So nobody doesn't have anything to say about the 8%. That's nice. And that is why we are where we are. Nobody wants to make their discomforts, disagreements, dissatisfaction public. Everybody wants to hide behind somebody else. That is why we don't have the numbers in the streets to protest this increase. That is why we don't have the numbers in the streets to protest against the bloated list and so on, because everybody wants somebody else to do it. I can tell you straight. I keep seeing missed calls, but the calls are not coming through to me. Wonder why. Well, like they got a new tactic for me. How I get run the call and I ain't getting the other people call.
That is why you don't have the numbers in the street.
I bluffing me or what? Call it live, good morning.
Because everybody wants somebody else to do it.
Call it live, good morning.
No, good morning. Because just started there to call and now you're not answering me. Anyway, about the public the unions. You see with the slightest thing, those people don't wait on management, they wait on no one. Once something affects them, the smallest fraction of the sugar estate, something affects them, you're going to hear they say, bye. Tomorrow morning, are we not going to estate? Are we stand up by this gate? And now we call one protest. The smallest worker. And you bet the next day, instead of when they come off them trucks, and they got board another truck to go down in the Baghdad or wherever, they stand up at the gate and they hold the protest. But with other factions, I like public service, don't matter what affects them, none of them don't come out and protest. As a nurse, I used to call one-man protest working at hospital for things like thermometer on the ward, blood pressure apparatus, uniform, and all kind of things. And when I used to do that one-man protest, lots of workers used to be annoyed with me, but I didn't care. You ain't give me uniform for this year, I wear my old uniform. I ain't get shoes, I got to work with push toe. And I used to carry the protest for what I want. But people in the public service union, they would sit down and talk about the little bit of money. None of them ain't gonna come out and protest. We work and we circulated pamphlets for the strike on Thursday, the protest on Thursday. You can't say that protest thing because when we were on the square Tuesday, you saw us handing out them sheets and we did get going through on vehicles. So we know we did distribute. And look the amount who came. We can't do more. If them they're being affected and they want to do, what can we do? So I don't know how they're going to spend this this 8%. And I'm saying, like how they're going to different places, we gotta go to NIS and protest there for money. Because the people who get in NIS pension, we ain't hearing about increase. And I doubt whether in front gonna state anything about the increase. Now last Friday I gave a comment, and this thing Nola Simpson jumped into my face to tell me that me not a qualified nurse. Well, Nola Simpson, I joined the staff as a nursing assistant. And when I joined the staff as a nursing assistant, the 19th of October, 1981, when I finished my nursing assistant training, and I wrote to Guyana, Georgetown Hospital School of Nursing, to be trained as a staff nurse midwife, staff nurse, probably going on to midwife. In 1985, the government decided to stop training nursing assistants. Don't allow them to do any programs. And they started to recruit nurses from off the road and train them as professional nurses and stop training nursing assistants. And after nursing, professional nurses coming off the road, trained for 3 years, at the same time there was a glut for Guyanese nurses around the world. So they come in, they train for the 3 years, and they shipped out of Guyana. And when Guyana realized that there was a nurses drain in the country, they then decided to take nursing assistants who they had about 10 batches in front of me that they were not training, and start adding them to the professional class course, and then putting them on contracts so they could have gotten nurses to stay now, because you done work for so many years. You don't say, man, let me go and do the professional. You don't serve out your contract. They add to you a 5 years contract for professional. Then when you finish, they push you into midwifery classroom and dig another couple years in you. So when they finish with you, you're tied up with about 8 years. And by the time you're 8 years done, you got about 2 more years to retire. And I saw that Ministry of Health, they start to use nurses as collateral papers or damages in the system. And I told them I'm not going to become a professional nurse and come my life entangled with Ministry of Health. So you, Nola Simpson, when I spoke last Friday, you jump in me face. That is why I remained a nursing assistant. And I want you to know that with all I come off minister, walk off the job in 1996, people still come to me and I just give them better diagnosis than what many of them doctors got around the country giving diagnosis. Because once you come and you present your case to me, I could tell you it could be this, it could be that, go such a place, do such a stuff. And many people has come back and say, Rand, you know what? The advice you give me, what you tell me there, when I went to the place, it's true what they're telling me. So I don't give a fig about Nola Simpson. You get a problem, and your problem is a great problem. Your problem is a problem that nobody could help you with, because I don't even have a diagnosis to affix to your inability to understand and comprehend anything. And when you got people like you, you will destroy the whole world. Because you know why? You ain't got nothing, no, you ain't got gray matter that is working. So don't run in my face. I even spoke on the buildings, and I could name buildings that I see, and I look at it, and you could see those buildings are twisted. And when I spoke about the outside, you know outside, they are not below sea level. When you go to those people's seawall, we would call seawall, you are on high cliffs looking down into the ocean. But Guyana, the ocean, they're right on you. We don't have cliffs. We don't have nothing. And those countries, many of them are a rock-based foundation. That you got sturdy foundation for do what you want to do. When you start drilling and the dogs drive down couple wall above post pile, by the time you put down now, it's going into the soft mud and eventually the pressure it starting to spread out, so you're going to got the problem with your buildings. Look, the building, the hospital, round Len or return, the sheriff hospital. And if you look at it, down, that building has a north westerly tip. It's slanting down. So I'm not talking lies. So that is my comment today. Bye-bye.
Thank you for your call, Rhonda. The lines remain open. 622-5933 is the number to call. Call and let's talk the thing. It's now 6 minutes past 8 o'clock hour. You got over 54 minutes to get off, man. Come, let's talk. This is my not talking too much morning. Call A Live, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Kadaki. Good morning, everyone in the diaspora. Good morning, all Guyanese. Last week I talked about that 8% raise that the Ministry of Finance or the government of Guyana is giving to the people. 8%, I based it on the World Bank's average of $1,000 or $1,100 per day. And that comes out roughly about $80. So for persons who are making $3,000 a day, at $3,000 a day, those are the persons who are making about $90,000 a month. Okay, so that's way above the police salary. I know police don't get $90,000 a month, the average police. So at 8%, that'd be $240. 8 3 24, $240 per day. That's the 8%. At the highest, if you're making $90,000, and most people not making $90,000, public sector workers. So out of that $240 per day, on a day-to-day basis, now that could take you to work. How much is a shot drop in Guyana on the bus? So you're looking again, I'm reiterating this point as I did last week. The money only getting you to work, getting you back from work. What about lunch? What about going into the market? See, the money only carrying to work and bringing you back. It can't even take you into the market. Then what about your children? Because you already use up that $240 per day of the 8%. So what about the other children in your house? Where are they getting any assistance out of that 8%? There is nothing left. Nothing left for the 8%. So the PPP have to realize that that 8% is only good to go to work, come back to work, probably. Depends on where you're living. There's nothing in there for lunch, nothing in there 8% to go to the market for that day. Because you can't go to the market with $240. You cannot go to the market with $240 and take a bus and feed your children. So that means you have to dip, you have to go back to the salary that you were getting before the 8% was given. So then now you are using your own salary to help you through in an inflation. So the 8% doesn't really cover for inflation. Then they said they're taxing you on the 240. So it doesn't make sense. I mean, it really embarrasses, it really makes Ashley Singh look like a bloody idiot. It really does. it really insults Ashley Singh. Even if he didn't want to do that, I mean, it makes him look dunce, really dunce. All right? And I mean, it's not to really tantalize Ashley Singh, but I mean, just on a basic match, it makes him look really dunce. Now, if what Ali said it, he's gonna give workers more than 20%. In Parliament, he was making that noise. So I don't understand how they got in $1.5 billion in the Treasury. Ashley Singh said the other day that and the finance advisors said that we have at least 11 billion barrels of oil in reserves. That goes into trillions of dollars. At least $1 trillion. So how is it you can't seem to give? It doesn't make any sense. Now, in these hard times, you know, I was just listening to Rhonda Lane. And Rhonda Lane has a situation whereby she is obviously struggling to pay her court costs. And when I look at this woman protesting every day, it is as if she should be campaign manager for the entire coalition, because the zeal she has. Rhonda has a bit of a difficulty paying her court costs. I don't know if any of us are really empathizing or really looking at the matter. But she's got $500,000 Guyana to pay. And that shouldn't be a lot of monies to pay at 2,500 US. So I'm hoping that somewhere we can find it in our hearts, considering the work that Rhonda Lane does with protests. The lady lives all the way on the West Coast Demerara. Do we consider how much money that takes to get from West Coast Demerara on a pensioner fee? To be in every protest? On top of that, she's got a $500,000 court fine to pay for things which they won't even charge Anil Nandalal with. This lady needs some sort of help. Maybe we should consider to assist Rhonda Lane with some $5, $10. And it's not charity. This is not charity. We're not asking for charity. We're saying that she's obviously a soldier. And we've got to look out for our soldiers. It really touches me to my heart. When we're asking for strong fighters, and we've got one of the strongest fighters in this system, whether we may like her or not, we got to recognize that Rhonda Lane fighting by. She's a pensioner and she's fighting by. So if we can find it in our heart to organize between the Mark Bench Chop Show, between the Rickford Bork Show, between Politics 101 Show, if we believe, between In the Ring, if we believe that Rhonda Lane is an asset and we should encourage individuals like that, then we should help to support her cause. Again, this is not charity. This is assisting anyone that we realize is a fighter for the cause and we would like to assist. Considering these inflationary prices. In the context of inflationary prices, this lady has got a $500,000 fine on her. And she has been unjustly given that fine when they won't even charge Nandalal for the very same things. So it's something to consider. Maybe we can organize a fund giving on these types of platforms for Rhonda Lane. And once again, thank you for listening.
Thank you for your call. Six 225 is the number to call. It's now 15 minutes past 8 o'clock hour. You're tuned to the Buxtonian Morning Time. I am your host, Kidaki Amsterdam. It seems a lot of people don't want to talk about this 8% and what it really means for those of you who are in the public service, especially, and we're going to punish. Right? We're going to punish bad, you know. Because 8%, it makes sense. It's nothing on your income, really and truly. It's nothing on your income. And the cost of living will continue to rise, especially in this December month. You know what happens in December? In December, every businessman expects wages and salaries increase. And so they increase their prices because they want to take it back from y'all who like to go and spend for Christmas. Call it live. Good morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. I've been saying this for a while, right? That if you're leading, you're going to lead from the front. Leadership is not opposition. How you just be on the line yourself, Mr. Kadaki. And when I... Hello?
Yes, we are listening.
Yes. When I said so, leadership is from the front. I mean, from the parliamentarians, every parliamentarian from the opposition, not the soul in the out. They in the heart or in the belly of the beast, where they can put forward their own things and get it read and get it passed. And they still attending parliament. So where else they gonna go? If they're in the belly of the beast and they can't just make the adjustment, do the right thing inside it. You know, just watch and see in Nigeria and other places where men is break up the parliament because you must tell me that I got to say in this. But everybody, Zura, they're getting $1 million every month for being parliamentarian. They ain't feeling nothing. What they're doing is using people to get more TV show or more airtime. But they're coming out and leave from the front. They know their salary good, and there's this. I mean, the working, like, still, they don't matter. They just talk. Everybody talk, and no walk. Everybody just talking and no walking. You understand? You could get the Speaker of the House tell you exactly you think can't read because of what? Are you still attending it, Mr. Kadaki? You telling me that's right? You still attending them asking you play what you doing? Once they ain't doing nothing inside there, how would they expect people to go outside there? I mean, we got to go out there, yeah, but if they sit down at the pipe, we get a pass and they ain't doing nothing. We fighting at the back on the road and do. They don't enjoy the sweep. They get tired we punishing, and when we fight and we get through, they get more sweep. They get more sweep all the time. They helping, we know way they helping.
What caller?
And I agree with the caller, with the guy that they should help out Rondo. They get good soldiers, yes, they got to look at good soldiers, but I agree with him.
Caller.
Yes, sir.
We recognize that these parliamentarians are not doing anything to help us.
Yeah.
What therefore should we do?
We say we want stand up for the government, do say the staff they get along because they know every way. Put the pressure on them, they get along the way. We want people who get help we.
How do you get rid of them?
We got to get rid of them by not giving them no support, because they're not giving we no support.
And in the meantime, we allow the government to pass, or we got to fight both battles together?
Come again, I ain't getting it. You get a break up point there.
In the meantime, do we give the government a pass while fighting our parliamentarians to do better or leave, or we fight both battles together?
Well, as an old soldier, you fight many wars at the same time.
Okay. All right. So you would agree with me that this, I calling it foolishness. That we keep hollering the parliamentarians in doing nothing and so we ain't doing nothing is just that foolishness, right?
No, it's not foolish. It's not foolish. If we out here and we doing your thing, you're getting your numbers out. The party and seeing whether it's a just card. You understand? And my God, you know what, man? Let me be the one to make a difference.
Thank you, caller. I'm going to tell you something just now on camera.
All right.
Thank you. Let's be made up. I got a voice note. Let's play it.
Yeah, Kadaki, good morning. I don't always get to view your program, but I just tuned in and heard Kofi saying something around the lane there and some $500,000. Could you please shed some light on it for those who missed what happened? Thank you very much.
All right, well, as far as I know, the only light I can shed is that matter with Rhonda Lane, which went before the magistrates on some cyberbullying issue. Rhonda was found guilty and she was made to pay. The judgment is that she paid $500,000 in fine or faced some amount of time in jail. She was given a particular time by which to pay. The advice of many people was for Rhonda to appeal that judgment. I don't know if she appealed. She never said if she appealed. She never said if she intends to pay. And so that is as far as I know. So listening to Kofi, in short, what he's saying or what he's suggesting is that she's burdened with that fine to be paid. And so he's pleading for assistance. That's my interpretation. Voice note.
Morning, Mr. Amsterdam. Them want to talk, they ain't going to talk about the 8% because enough of them saying, it better than none at all. There's how the Guyana. By me workplace, all they're doing is grumbling a car now. But everybody see the pace of this month, they're just grumbling. Nobody ain't saying nothing. Nobody ain't saying nothing. It's just better than none at all. And if I tell you, if you see the fuss and bus, if you see the chair sets, the wardrobes, and you saw the shopping with the same little bit money where they're working for. Some of them going by courts and trust next year is trouble in the ass when courts ringing down their phone. Black people like competition, blind competition, it start already. They love competition. I can't say I buy him blind. For 20 years I buy him blind. Every year I buy him blind. This year I can't mix and match. Me sorry for them. Me sorry for them. But I know this go wrong. They got a buyer, a girl gonna get me 8%. I build a big house. I gotta get 17 blind. Me small house first was 3 blind I used to use. Where you gonna say we're gonna take up them same 3 blind and spread them off because I can't afford 17 blind. I can't afford. So right now me house does that crazy different color blind. Because I can't afford it. Plus I get some window you don't see in daytime. So right now for the over 8 months now me window ain't get blind. You can't see it in the daytime. And when the nighttime reach when you could see it, I still and have the light. So me even get blind. And I get no intention buying none neither. So nobody ain't doing nothing. Everybody just grumbling and saying it better than none at all.
Thank you for that voice note. Rhonda Lane has sent us a voice note. Let's hear what she's saying.
Cause Gadaki, sorry to be a double dipper. I approached my lawyer to have that case appealed, and my lawyer told me to my face she's not going to appeal the case. So after she told me that, I don't know, excuse me, I don't know what else to do. That's why I'm going around to see what could be done. It is not that I got the money, but the lawyer says she will not appeal the case.
All right, so can you check another lawyer? If you checked with another lawyer, do you want the case to be appealed or you want to pay your fine? That's what we have to determine. The lines remain open. 6225933 is the number to call. I said I'm going to tell you something on camera. I like people see my face when I talk in bad story. Or what some people call bad story. Right? Everybody, do you know when public service, at least I've seen it in the past, when the public servants get an increase, parliamentarians get an increase too? When public servants get an increase, parliamentarians get an increase. But when public servants getting that increase on $70,000, parliamentarians are getting that increase on what? Sometimes $200,000. And so parliamentarians again will be better off with their 8% increase across the board. So if I'm enjoying a better quality of life, what makes it important for me to fight for you? Huh? There will always be caste and class in society. There will always be class and caste. And until you find somebody in your own class to fight for you, understand that somebody will climb on your shoulder. I mean, sometimes these things come across as crude when I say them. Right? But I can tell you, and I'm telling you straight up, I am as energetic as I am as determined as I am unrelenting as I am to fight the injustices in this society, because I come from a place where I know what injustice is. I like that people, I'm born with gold spoon in my mouth. I like QC boy because I say QC runs the world. QC runs the country. I'm bishops and all of that. I ain't got no damn high society to fit into. I have no interest in fitting into high society. My interest is in seeing every Guyanese treated fairly. Seeing everybody get a fair share of the spoils. The things I can tell you all sometimes I hasten not to say because, you know, a lot of people are going to be hurt. And not that I'm concerned about hurting people or not. But they might want to believe I'm crass, C-R-A-S-S. And envious and bad mind. I'm envious, I'm bad mind, I'm crass. I just believe that some people are too wicked. You campaign to champion the rights of the people, then champion the rights of the people. Don't use the rights of the people as your stepping stone to self-aggrandizement, and then you forget the people. Because, quite frankly, I think both can be achieved. The average parliamentarian lives better than the average public servant, and it will continue to be so. And I don't care who is angry when I say these things. And so I can understand, I keep telling you, I can understand why the parliamentarians are doing little to nothing, because they're doing just enough to say they're doing enough. Hold the line, caller. You know, sometimes I'm on the protest line, I laugh. I laugh when I see certain people. I laugh. I literally laugh when I see certain people turn up on the protest line. Because you know what? They come for 10 minutes, and try to go in front of the camera, and then they haul their ass and go away. You all understand what's going on? Oh, they calling for us to go. Then we know it's looking bad. Let me go. 5 minutes in front of the camera, and then they disappear. Like it or love it, those of you who have been on the protest line could attest to that. And that thing pisses me off. You mean you can't take a day? You can't take an hour? You can't take 2 hours and commit to Dakars? Weekly? Every other week or so? You want to turn up for 5 minutes, go and talk shit in front of the camera and then disappear? Y'all excuse my coarse language this morning. It's there right now. This is what happens in this country. Member of Parliament is not a full-time job. So your member of Parliament can hold a job and be a member of Parliament. So your member of parliaments were teachers and they're members of parliament. You recognize what's happening there? They're getting two sources of income. And both of them they're going to get 8% on. They don't care tree crap. Go on. Go and ask the people of Victoria about their representative. And they're going to tell you how they feel about that individual and others. Go ask the people of Beirut about their representative, and they're going to tell you how they feel about them. They don't see them. Go ahead, live. Good morning.
Yes, good morning to you and all my black brothers and sisters, coalition leaders and members, except Mr. Ramjatan. Ms. Randall, thank you for your message and explanation. You rightful pretend on her. What God bless you with, no man can take away. Now I'm calling on the private sector. Seeing that the private sector keep a meeting with the opposition leader, Mr. Norton, why did not come and say something when it's 8%? I mentioned this on your program. They are there to feedback Ali what to do and who wants to give after that meeting. Let me move on. I'm not surprised that what Ramjatan came out and said after December he gonna walk away. I gladly walk away. God is removing wolves in sheep clothing in the coalition before the next election, so they could perform well.
Caller,
do a good job with no interrupt.
Caller, forgive me.
Because
Caller, forgive me. Forgive me, caller. Let me interrupt you. If God removing sheep and wolf clothing from the coalition, they ain't gonna get no coalition. They might even get a PNC. Continue.
All right, good. Now, on my side, the reason why I'm saying this, because I know Mr. Ramjatan wants to leave a long time, because he's not working to win PPP, he's working to keep PPP in office, because we all know he do not have the vote to win PPP. All he is working for is to get more seats than PPP, more seat than PNC, so he could always sign the PPP in any vote in the parliament. I remember when I look at Shalmada's program video from the basement in Canada, he said he told Mr. Ramjatan he cannot take the job of an MP. Mr. Ramjatan said, why? He said, I have Canadian citizen. He said, Mr. Ramjatan said, don't worry with that. Both parties have people with other citizenship and sitting in parliament. Mr. Ramjatan, if a man bring that to you, and you know the Constitution, and you know it is wrong, and you still allow it, no, it asks me to think back. Why he allow that? Also, why he give Chamadas protection to leave right away and go to the airport? Everything was planned behind the coalition back, and Mr. Ramjatan involved. Mr. Ramjatan, what goes around comes around. And to all black MPs in the coalition, in the AFC, don't make Mr. Ramjatan use you guys. Because when he use you guys, black people are going to punish, children are going to end up on the street because of you supporting Mr. Ramjatan. You guys know Ramjatan AFC cannot win PPP. By themselves, is something in it. Why he leave? But I gladly leave. Because it's chaos from the coalition, from AFC. And I know he's going to put a black, like the man in the ring for Prime Minister candidate, because he got public numbers well too. But to my brother Duncan, don't be used. It is time for black people return back home to PNC and WPA. My grandmother teach me something age at 9. She said, my grandson, who sting for me, I will rattle for them. And it's time for we rattle for WPA and PNC, because only these two parties right now is thinking for us. Read with the Palmer son and understand why you have to return home. Leave AFC alone party. There is danger to the black people them in Guyana. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Carter. Vice Note.
Yeah, Kodaki, good morning. I don't always get to view your program. All right, Kodaki, here's what's going to happen. If 200% put $2,500, I think it will reach $500,000. So whether on the lane wants to appeal the case or pay the fine, it doesn't matter to me. But I started with $5,000 to donate to her, and she can have that money today. But I don't have a cell phone number for her. I don't know if you want to text it to my phone, or you can give the number publicly for those who may want to donate to. So that's my contribution towards the situation she in.
Good. On the lane, please indicate whether I should give your number publicly or what I should do. You know, you always aggravate me, you know. You always really aggravate me. I don't know. I just like God in me car, and people that just want to pull me out. I got some deep thoughts about some people in this country, but I try not to utter a word. Because this is not about them. Right? I rather make my fight about the democracy of this country and a better day for poor people. I don't want to be nitpicking at people masquerading as leaders. Quite frankly. Listen. Everybody crying out that Ramjatan said the AFC gonna leave the coalition. Everybody. The AFC was outside of the coalition before. Call on the line. Call on the line, please. The AFC was outside of the coalition before. And so it's a case of, let me call it self-help. Today I recognize that there is need to help, and I put my shoulders to the wheel. Having achieved the goal which we set out as a partnership, I decide, okay, we have achieved that goal. We are at a new platform. It is time for me to move on. Go back to my singular self. Where everybody want to beat up Ramjatan for? You think people walk away from good? Do you believe everybody who walks away, anybody as a matter of fact walks away from good? Beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. And if Ramjatan is seeing no good in the coalition for the AFC, so be it. The PNC, who is a bigger party, which is a bigger party in the coalition, must decide a way forward. The coalition must decide a way forward. Can we make it without the AFC? Or do we need to do something to woo the people, the AFC, to keep them? Those are politics. All is fair in love, war, and politics. Some people are saying Ramjatan is saying so because he wants more out of the coalition. The coalition must decide if they can really afford to give Ramjatan more, or if Ramjatan them had enough, or they had too much. Instead of fighting this battle with Ramjatan, the PNC, the coalition supporters should be fighting a different battle, quite frankly. And what is that battle? They should be fighting a battle for unity in the PNC. Because if the PNC is the biggest political party in this whole opposition thing and the coalition, and they are divided, it means that the coalition by any way is fractured. Ramjitan stays or stays not. The coalition is fractured because there are major fractures in the PNC. And until we can fix those major fractures, then who wants to stay around the leaky house? They said better to live on a rooftop than in a house where they got knocking all the time. Think about that. Call A Live, good morning.
Good morning. I don't even know what to start. As to the support of Rhonda, I'm all for that. It's actually good to see her in person. I want to go back to this 8% business. And as usual, you see for them to come out and protest. What's going to happen? And then after the fact, that people seem to have a problem. Listen, I don't know what needs to happen. I need people to realize that if June and I have to go back over and over again, the time of the worst pandemic, people use the age. During the time when you had flood, people refused to. Why do you still have hope? How they're going to somehow towards people and poor people somehow turn around and decide that you have value or eyes. You do not value yourself. Have expectations. Have some sense of your work and no one else will. In your offices and you're sucking your teeth to your breath while you are planning on going to tax 8% in the stores of the people. The stores that you're going to go spend money in are the same people that told you just 8% because they're the ones in the pocket strings. You're going to go out there and you're going to spend your money in these stores and get the money. About you, they could have whispered to the government, no man, 8%. No, there cares, but a handful of people. No one. You have to do what your worth is and what you will in order to get what you need. I'm sorry, Guyana is a beautiful place. Extremely beautiful. But in its beauty, a 3-story concrete structure, and right beside it is the little falling apart from lack of maintenance. You drive through the big houses, the big streets, and get to the black holes, and it's blaring. And the people though are just like they don't deserve better, than know better, hence they have no hope for better. Life is just talking along. It's just as what it is. This is how it's, and you know, for the little crumbs that we had, but we can do when there's a health. You can stand up and say that I deserve better. Want more for me, I want more for my grandchildren. What is taking 1 hour to sign up that says I deserve pay out of an hour? Well, if you can, far people travel. Stand up for something, people. stand up and say that I have value. If you're crying, but yet you go into furniture and you go and buy carpet, say, well, look, they're out money, but they're saying they can't eat. Smart. You can't say you don't have it, then you sacrifice and take the little you have, the stores. It's a contradiction to the fight that you fought. I go home, I have this sense of wanting permit, but then I consider all the agencies that I have on a regular basis that are functional. And I say it often, and I say there are certain things that need to be, regardless of what party are aligned to, whether it's aligned red vote or not, whether you are black or Afro, indigenous or American, or Portuguese. We're missing one. Whatever your race should not matter. When you going on, such as when you have flooding, loss of whatever this is from drugs, those things should not matter. Assistance given across the board. If you go to a government aid or certificate for your passport, it should be given across the board. What you look like, who you voted. That is how the rest of the world, I don't want to tout all the time that they're be the richest and Dubai and to be this. Listen here, those are things that you need to fix. The only way they're gonna fix it is if you get this. But when you talk on press and say you're not accepting, who accept? Why would they check? If they feel that you deserve.
Caller, your call is not of the best quality. It's breaking all the time. I was hoping that it will get better, but it hasn't.
All right. I shall call back, or I should.
Thank you, caller. I have a voice note here.
Kadaki, good morning. You know, let me say something about this. This thing we saw on the news, the AFC is walking away, will be walking away from the coalition by year-end. For me, they already walked away. They've already walked away. I don't know for what sake they decide to come out now to say it. It is already seen and known. So I don't know what is the big thing right now. Anyhow, but let me tell you something. You see those same MPs and those people that we voted for to call themselves opposition, they will never be having persons trying to give them that vote, because they don't deserve it. You hear what I'm telling you? They don't deserve it. When you look at the way they are treating persons that voted for them, you will understand that if they get into government, they're going to treat us worse. They are going to treat us worse, because I've seen it. I have seen it already. I can't understand how these people could feel good to know that we put them there, and their actions alone says a lot. It tells a big story. I won't say everything that I want to say, but I am saying this, putting it in a nutshell. Them ain't ready yet. They ain't ready yet for this era with a government like PPP in place. Them ain't ready yet. The old style and the old fashion got to change. Then they could stand up to them. Thank you.
Thank you for that voice note. At 9 minutes to the 9 o'clock hour, somebody say, Mr. Amsterdam, this is a good time for you to form a political party with the AFC gone. What y'all think? Y'all want we form a political party? Y'all want us to form a political party? How many of you here will form a political party with me? Huh? Maybe it's a good thing to consider, you know. Maybe it's a good New Year resolution. Y'all talk to me. How many of you want to work with me on a political party? We could consider that, you know. What about the Citizens Alliance? They got a kind of alliance. Let's form a Citizens Alliance. You and I, let us ally ourselves together. And decide how we moving forward. What we want? Why are we forming this political party? What do people want, the people could get, you know. People just got to show that they're serious about what they want. Good? Think on that. You all think about that. Leon Swart says, yes, it will work. Joy Fraser said, farm it, please. Leon Swart said, yes. No, Dennis Champagne said, no. We already part of the WPA. Together we stand. Well, if the people telling me form my own political party, maybe they believe the WPA is not doing enough fast enough. How about that? And if the people believe that WPA is not doing enough fast enough, then WPA is being challenged to step up. Or the people might very well have their way. Robin said the people only talk. Well, like I said, put your money where your mouth there. Show actions, I will follow. Right? I always say I'm not the only person with less sense, you know. They got a lot of people there, a whole lot of y'all out there who full of sense that know what you have to do. But I ain't gonna, you know, I ain't ever work with half-hearted people. You gotta go hard or go home. So if you're prepared to go hard, we could talk about this thing. Otherwise, the WPA can not be, but let's talk. I'm always willing to listen. One of the man in Albert. And your wife said, don't get tired with these people comes. There is enough talk. I know Emily Durant. If I say we going, we going. If we're on the lane, so she down the train, me down the train. I could put my head on a block for them too. Who else should I put my head on a block for? You know, Johan C. George says, let's build on what we already have. I said to somebody someday, and I'm saying it, what was happening? Oh, yes, I had a mason doing some work for me a couple of weeks ago. And when I look at the amount of material this guy had to use to rectify what somebody else did before, I turned to him and I said, you know, sometimes it's better Call on the line. I told him, I said, you know, sometimes it's better to break down and start from scratch. Because fixing what was already built sometimes turn out to be too difficult and too expensive. As if we're trying to strengthen what we have and it seems not to be working, sometimes we just got to tear the damn thing down and start over. So both ideas have value. Do we strengthen what we have? Do we continue to try to strengthen what we have, or do we tear it down and build over? With all the fractures we got in the PNC and in the coalition, should we really be trying to save it, or we just find something new and replace them? Call A Live, good morning.
Morning, Kadaki, and morning, Guyana. 8%. And 8% out of 100, that's what you basically, what could I say? How they view you. 8%. After breaking down on taxes, $100 and something a day. And leadership all around. I mean, have spoken up, but done nothing. We as a people are simply doomed if we just continue to lie down each day and take this bull. I mean, we've been doing it and doing it, and I am disgusted with my African people in Guyana. Damn it. We keep doing the same crap every time in hoping PPP racist mafia coolie people gonna do any better. I mean, we're just that stupid and blinded that we don't see what these people are made of. How much time you gonna get kicking your ass and then you stick it out more to get more kick? The question I would ask my African brethren and sisters is, are you give up? My answer is yes, they give up based on what they have allowed the Koli people to do to them. They have ceded power and they just continue to act like it's normal. Christmas time, they can go and shop, and what ass is that? Buying blinds every friggin' year. Giving, matter of fact, they're financing their own demise by shopping and giving them Kuli people their money, Chinese people their money, financing your own demise, and have no clue of what's going on. So, I'm looking at it on a pragmatic level. We as a people are doomed, and them Kuli people know where they got us and continue to do it to us. And we simply go ask Jesus, pray to help us. So each Christmas we ask them not to buy, not to do this. But guess what? They continue to do what normally they do. So how isn't that insanity? So in looking at our prognosis, if we're under the psychiatrist's chair, the psychiatrist will keep talking to you over and over, and basically you giving the psychiatrist the money to diagnose your problem, when the problem is being told, the solution is being told over and over, and you still continue to fund the economy. You still continue to behave in a manner that doesn't befit you, but you're not tired of getting licks.
you just continue to, take your shirt off so that they can beat you in your back. I mean, I'm so disgusted with our people. It's ridiculous that we continue day in and day out begging when it's right in front of you to take. Disgusted, I'm sick and tired of it with the people, especially African people in Guyana. The only people ain't gonna come out there and support you now because that's not them. The people can't fight for their own right, like you said, when the sugar workers strike, they come together and do things. African people just complain all friggin' day. And then they do crap. People taking all the money, taking the country, do whatever it want, and you can just sit down there. Next 20 years, what grass you think where you gonna be? In the mud. I mean, I'm just sick and tired of it, Kadaki. I mean, that's my take.
Thank you, caller. So one of our contributors messaged me and say, "Hey, Mr. Amsterdam, you're calling protest, they ain't coming out." How they? What? You're calling protest, they ain't coming out. What make you come out to support you a new political party? Good question. Y'all answer though. I'm calling protest. Y'all ain't coming out. Where's the guarantee that you will support this new political party that you're asking me to form? I'm challenging you. You know me, I like a good challenge. Thursday's protest in front of the Ministry of Finance. Flood the road, flood the square there. And we're going to start signing up for the formation of this new political party right there, if the number's right. How about that? Put your money where about there. Come out in your hundreds. Ready to fill up membership form for this new political party that you're encouraging me to form. So I got know number one is not ghost people dealing with. Number two, I will know is not the PPP trolls trying to cause me to further fracture the opposition. But as people were very serious about wanting an alternative to what's happening, and they're willing to put their money where their mouth is, and their face in public as representing a new political movement and culture. Thursday, 12 o'clock, Ministry of Finance, how do we go in and protest? Join the protest and we can take it from there. It's 3 minutes past the 9 o'clock hour. Let me see if there is any other voice note. You can inbox me to continue this conversation, but that doesn't mean I will immediately respond to you. I got things to do too.
Hey, Kadaki. Mr. Jack, they agree with the caller what the caller said just now. Because Mr. Jack, they if the man doing a set of thing and all of them doing a set of thing, the people them for the who living in this country a set of thing and nobody ain't doing nothing to it. Nothing. Public servants need to come out, boots in the ground. Because they're working hard and they're making them and using them and making them a clown all the time. It disgusts with that.
Yeah. Sometimes I gotta smile. You tune to the BUXTONIAN morning time.
Never Joe. Never Joe. Never Joe. Oh, money, never money, never money, money, never money, money, I know what you can even money. Money, never money, never money, money, never money, money, you can keep, you can even money. neighbor, neighbor, joker. Neighbor, neighbor, joker. Neighbor, neighbor, joker. That's all the money that me work for. A 2 pound note and a guilder piece. A 2 pound note and a guilder piece. A 2 pound note and a guilder piece. This is all the money that me work for. Money, neighbor, money, money, neighbor, money. Money, I know what you can have in money.
Oh, Joseph, pour me. Yes, I see somebody suggesting that.
I'm excited to all of you guys over there.
Somebody suggesting that we start a GoFundMe. There's a permanent GoFundMe account set up on Kams TV page. Let me see if I find it. So if you want to, there's a GoFundMe there. Fight racial and political discrimination in Guyana. But as I usually say, we ain't got to always reinvent the wheel, you know. There's a GoFundMe page there. Nobody has been paying attention to it. Right? Yes. Nobody has paid any attention to it. The last contribution we had in that GoFundMe was $20 2 months ago. Good. So I'm encouraging you, if you want to send your donations via GoFundMe, there is, how do I get it here? I will have to get to the live to post it now. Yes, you can use that same one. Let me see if I get how to share it. All right, it is posted to my feed. I'm also going to try to get a link into this live program. Sometimes I don't be too technologically bright. Y'all can't vex with me for that. All right, so there's a post. Yes, the GoFundMe account has been posted to the same Kams TV page here. So if you have an interest in contributing to Rwanda's Defense Fund via the GoFundMe, go right there and make your contributions. You will see it has as the beneficiary Jemima Sarabo, but that is just the person who we are using to clear the GoFundMe because, you know, you can't really do a GoFundMe from Guyana. Nothing happens from Guyana. Anything with international payments doesn't happen from Guyana. Somebody overseas has to take charge. Right? So you will see Jemima Sarabo, but the beneficiary is not Jemima Sarabo. As a matter of fact, there are, what do you call it? Control mechanisms in place to ensure that everybody knows what is happening with the GoFundMe account. Right? So you can trust it. And if I say you can trust it because I know you have been trusting me and you have had no reason not to trust me. Right? It's now 10 minutes past the 9 o'clock hour, so All right, Colin is making an argument here that a special GoFundMe set up for Rwanda kills 2 birds with 1 stone. It highlights the issue and it also gets the thing. Very well. If anybody wants to undertake that, feel free. I will publicize it. Right? But like I said, somebody overseas usually has to do this. And I really don't know a lot of people who are willing to do it. So if any of you can take charge of it, I am in. I will support it. I will advertise it. I will encourage it. Good. It's now 11 minutes past the 9 o'clock hour. It's time for me to go. I understand that there's a protest outside of GCOM offices from 10 o'clock today. Wherever the office is, there will be a protest. That is what somebody said on the live. I'm just repeating it. So if you can track those protests and you want to join, I encourage you to. Tomorrow is Tuesday. There will be a protest in front of GCOM, I think, as usual, from 12 o'clock. You want to join there, join us. And then the General Workers Union, I think, is also going to be in front of the office of the president somewhere from around 11 o'clock, protesting this 8%. So there seems to be some protests building up across the country. Make your pick. Right? Make your pick. Have a good day. Goodbye. See you all around. Bye-bye. Remember on Thursday, Ministry of Finance from 12 o'clock. Right? If you're serious about wanting a new political movement, come out in your numbers and we will judge from there and we will start from there. Right? Good. Goodbye. Have a good day, y'all.